Inflation is about to come down fast over the next couple months here, and in this video, I'm gonna go over the reasons why I think that's likely going to happen. So thanks again for everyone who's been watching my videos. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this video. I'm That Agent Kelly. I talk about Canadian real estate in my local market here of Abbotsford and the Fraser Valley. And again, if you get any value or entertainment, like this video. And as well, if you'd like to chat about buying or selling real estate, you can do so by scrolling down into my description, clicking on the link I provided for my calendar, and you can book yourself right into my calendar for a time that's convenient for you. All right, so let's get right into why I think inflation is going to come down pretty hard and fast over the next 2 quarters here in 2023. Let's start off by talking about how inflation is actually reported. So basically how they report on inflation is the cost of goods and services in any given month in comparison to what they were in the exact same month in the previous year. So in this chart, it shows inflation for January 2022 is 5.1%. That means the cost of goods and services in January 2022 were 5.1% higher than they were in January 2021. So if we take a look at the inflation numbers at the back end of 2022, you notice that we start to trail off and go down. Now this is partly due to the fact that we had already been raising rates for a couple months prior to this. However, we all know that rates take about 12 months to 18 months to actually filter through the economy. So this is most likely largely due to the fact that we were comping against numbers in 2021 that were higher. So you'll notice as we're coming down in 2022, the numbers we were comping against in 2021 were going up and getting higher. So I'm not an economist, and I'm willing to bet that most people watching this video probably aren't either. So I'm going to explain this in a way that makes sense to me, that hopefully makes sense to the large majority of people out there. Not using real numbers or anything like that. It's just the easiest way that I think I could explain this and how I understand it. So let's just say the cost of goods and services equals 100 in April 2021, and then in April 2022 it equals 105. That's going to register as 5% inflation because we are 5% more expensive in April 2022 than we were in April 2021. Now let's assume the cost of goods and services goes up on a monthly basis 1% from April 2022 to May 2022. Now I actually think I think the last report said we're down like negative 0.7% month over month or something like that. But for ease of this video, let's just say we go up 1% month over month. So in May 2022, the cost of goods and services will be roughly 106. Well, let's just say they went up month over month in 2021 as well. Let's just say in May 2021, the cost of goods and services was 102. So if you take 102 and divide it by 106, that's going to register as 3.8% inflation. So although the cost of goods and services still went up on a monthly basis, because we're comping against higher inflation in May 2021, it actually registers as a lower inflation rate than what we had in April. Because the monthly inflation rate back in 2021 was twice as high. It was 2%, and now it's only 1% in 2022, and we're comping against a higher number. It's going to register as a lower annual inflation rate. Again, these numbers are completely meaningless. I'm just trying to explain this the way that I understand it. Just a Fraser Valley realtor here, not an economist. But I think overall, the ideology that I'm explaining here is correct. I could be wrong, but I think this is correct. So if I pull up this chart again, you'll notice in March of 2022, going from February to March, annual inflation started getting out of control, going up a full 1% from February to March, 5.7 to 6.7, and then within 3 months getting all the way up to 8.1% in June of 2022. Well, this could actually be very good news because come March 2023, we're going to be comping against much higher costs of goods and services back in March 2022. And then come June, we're going to be comping against 8.1% the cost of goods and services and as they were in June 2022. And if you go look at the latest CPI report, we're actually down on a monthly basis. So although inflation on an annual basis didn't really come down at all, monthly inflation is going down right now, meaning by the time we get to June, it should be a lot easier to comp against the higher prices of goods and services in June of 2022. So unless things get out of hand and inflation starts rising again or whatever it may be, our actual annual CPI numbers should start to come down really hard and fast as we get into Q2 of 2023. Now, obviously in the back end of 2022, not like 2021, in 2021 inflation started ramping up, but in the back end of 2022, inflation started coming down. And in the back end of 2023, we will have to comp against those numbers. And if I had to guess, that would mean that we may get down to a 5% inflation rate and then just kind of hold around there, because it'll be really hard to push down the price of goods and services on an annual basis when we're comping against smaller numbers. But anyways, guys, I hope this makes sense to you. Again, I'm not an economist and I could be wrong about some of this, but this is just something that I've heard, I've researched, and I thought I would try to explain it in as simple terms as possible. But I think inflation will start to come down pretty fast in the next little bit here, just because we are having to comp against such high numbers back in 2022. So if this made sense to you guys, subscribe to the channel, like this video. If you want to chat about buying or selling real estate, you can do so by booking yourself right in my calendar with the link in my description. And again, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.